Okay, there we go. Good morning, Mr. Woody. How are you doing today, man? Good morning, everybody out there. It's going to be cloudy all day. Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I am too, blessed big time. Thought I'd pour a few heads this morning and then tie up a bunch this morning and this afternoon. The leg's okay. It's my back. My back's been messed up. The leg's been doing okay though. It's still numb, but that's something I'm just gonna have to live with. Something I gotta live with. Our lake is still high. I think we're still over 10 foot high on our lake in Nulaga here. Well, thank you. Yeah. I'll tell you what, Woody. I think if you go below the dam, man, at this time, with the running water, especially during the week while there aren't as many people out there, I bet you can catch a lot of catfish out there. I've always been out there where they're running water pretty heavy. I'll throw it out with like a 2-ounce sinker, and then you throw it upstream from the current, and you just follow your line. Make sure you keep a tight line, that way the line doesn't get hung up. And man, there's always you catch a lot of catfish that way. And thank you everybody else for coming in. Make sure to tap up the likes, get a like up there. Thank you there, Woody. Thank you much. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of social media, these postings people are putting up, and they're getting hit with all these tariffs. And it's like, why didn't they think about these things before? You know, we aren't going to be affected by the tariffs, at least for probably a year, year and a half, maybe. I don't think the tariffs are going to last that long. But I thought ahead in advance to get stuff like our rods, our fishing line, and all that stuff before the tariffs ever hit. Our hooks, we got enough hooks for the whole year. I'm hoping we make out okay. If the tariffs do hold up for another 3 months, I think we're going to make out like bandits. Hello, hello. Yeah, we got enough chenille. Well, I don't know about the thread part, but we got enough chenille. I got enough feathers. We'll be okay. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I'm pouring jig heads. These are for fishing lures. They'll be turned into hand-tied jigs. Yeah, make sure you tap up the likes. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I do a lot of things with lure making. Sometimes I'll paint on my lives. Yesterday I painted and I glued eyes on my live stream. These here are 1/16 ounce. On a number 4 hook. Appreciate everybody coming in. Where's all the regular people that come in? Where's Mr. Burke? Where's Mr. Cooper? Where's Remington? Where's John C? Yeah, last night I saw Mary. She caught an 80-pound stingray with her Flowcast, the striker rod. Had her fishing line, her circle hook, and everything on there. Oh yeah, yeah. I hope everything gets better. I mean, there's a lot of correcting and stuff that has to take place. Yeah, go back in the pot. Yeah, I came right after she landed it, and I didn't get to see the 30-minute fight though. That thing was huge. That thing was pretty meaty too. Yeah, I was so happy for her. Oh yeah, yeah. Big old 80-pound stingray. Them things, you know, you're trying to pull them up because they're so wide and flat, and the way you hook them up in the mouth and everything, it's not like an easy pull. It's like you're lifting up a, you know, like 150-pound fish at least. No, they don't. They're just that oddball shape too that you got to fight that kind of stuff with them. Hey, Remington. Yeah, I got on early today. I've been coming on usually around 9 o'clock, but I won't say caught up on stuff. I'm just not out on anything. I am. I have the 1/32, the 1/8, and the 16th. I'm pretty. I don't say pretty stacked up, but I got a lot of everything. So instead of me tying up like 18 to 24 of everything I usually tie, today I'm probably going to tie stuff in half dozen or a dozen just to fill up the spot completely. Okay, Joshua. I make a lot of everything. I mean, a lot of this stuff, they kind of look the same. I mean, they're this kind of pattern, but different colors. Yeah, a lot of everything I make, they all a lot of different colors. Yeah, check out the website. We got over 200 items on there. Let me get my coffee. It's time to refill. Yeah, this coffee's hot today. Hot, hot, hot coffee. Yeah, pretty much a one-stop shop. Yeah, the only thing we don't sell are reels. That's the only thing. We were looking at getting reels probably about a year or two ago, and man, the minimum I have to buy is like 200 of them. And so I do not want to be stuck with 200 reels that are one size. But yeah, we got our own fishing line, circle hooks, crappie poles, catfish poles. I'm looking into an ice rod for this winter. Also a 8-foot crappie pole. We also have looking at another catfish pole. Hey there, Ewas, how you doing? These here are the 1/16 ounce that I'm doing up. And they'll look like that. They'll get cleaned up, and the heads will get cleaned up. They'll get powder coated, and then I'll glue eyes on them. Well, thank you guys for coming in. Make sure to tap up the likes. We got 134 people. At least drop a like down there. I mean, even if half of you guys did it, that'd be like 160, 67. Well, that'd be 67 likes that I got if half of everybody threw a like down. Did you make them templates? No. Make my own baits as well, yeah. They were custom orders in the beginning. But yeah, these molds here are... Yeah, I think now they sell them. They sell them already done up. But when I had this made, it was a custom. I've had this mold for 10 years, maybe 8 years, something like that. 8 to 10 years. Hey, double. Still looking brand new. Yeah, it does. Yeah. There's a couple of them I have that have melted little spots because I, I accidentally leaned it up against the melting pot. But yeah, it still looks pretty new. Some of the molds that I had made, they weren't, oh, how they say, is perfect. I had to do some manipulation on them to get them how I wanted them to pour. That meant drilling holes into the you know, the spigots or whatever you call them. Trial and error. Yep, you got that right. Yeah, I had nobody teach me how to tie jigs. I had to just learn on my own, and the same thing with the painting and the pouring. There were a bunch of guys that made, and they still make, some of them still make jigs. But they were all like in their 70s, and when I told them I wanted to start making lures, and you saw a fire in their eyes light up. They didn't want anybody younger taking their business or anything. And so they didn't help me one bit, you know. There was one gentleman that did help me out a little bit, not in tying and making stuff, but when I ended up getting my excise tax number and I was able to start ordering wholesale, he had been making lures since like the 1960s, and anyway, if I ever ran out of some, like a skein of material, of like chenille and stuff, I had liberties of calling him up and, you know, saying, hey, can you sell me this or that, you know, until I get some. And a lot of times he'd just give it to me and just let me know that when I got it in, that I could return it. And the same went back to him. He would ask, you know, do I have any medium black rayon chenille, or do I have a skein? And we would just trade back and forth. But other than that, he didn't really. I think the only lure he showed me how to make was an inline spinning, like a rooster tail. And he picked up those pliers and bent the metal with pliers. He didn't even have he had alligator pliers, and he'd made me an inline spinner within like 1 or 2 minutes. So he said, this is what you do, and he just picked up those pliers and started bending wires and twisted them, and I'm like, oh, okay. I don't make rooster tail. At that time, I didn't make rooster tails. But I'm like, that's kind of cool to know. But nevertheless, I ended up buying a twisting tool to make rooster tails and stuff. I'm doing good, Burke. Yeah, it's always good to have someone that you could trade with, and you know, and it wasn't until I got my excise tax. Once I got my excise tax number, he knew I was serious about being in business. So for the first, I don't know, 4-6 years of me having a business, I just didn't have, well, the first 4 years probably. And even though I had my EIN number and local, you know, sales tax number and all that, I didn't even know what an excise tax was. And I was wondering, why am I getting rejected by all these wholesale companies? And I filled out an application, and I didn't know what a excise tax number was. And finally, I thought I better get it. There's another jig tire out of Arkansas that kind of showed me where to go get the excise tax number. Alrighty, well, thank you so much. We'll see you in a little bit, Mr. Burke. But this is what I do. I love making baits and just have fun with it. I'm doing good. I'm doing good, everybody. If you're just popping in, these are 1/16 ounce. And I am just dreading these allergies. I'm taking allergy medication, but I still got the sneezes and the coughs and the runny nose here and there. We've had a lot of rain, so we got a lot of mold in the air. Lots of mold and pollen at the same time. It didn't work out too good. This is a Lee's Precision Cast pot. They're really good pots for lure making. Today's an easy day too. Yesterday it was a pretty easy day. Oh man, that first cavity's not filling up. Yeah, I went through some lead this week. Let me get my little lead box out. Get some more lead out. Oh, it turned out to be less than 10 minutes. That's good. Here we go. I got the cavity this time. Lots of lures, lots of jigs. I don't pour this side over here because they have bait keepers. We don't really sell a whole lot of those. Oh, I like catfishing and crappie fishing. Catfishing because you get, I mean, I like, I like eating fish. So catfish because you get a lot of meat and they do put up a big fight. And crappie fishing because I just love eating crappie. If I had to go to a buffet table and they had all kinds of fish, like freshwater, I'd be going to the crappie line. And I like crappie fishing because we do sell crappie jigs. So a lot of times when I do live stream, I'll live stream with I want to show off our lures and all that stuff, you know. Oh yeah, those are good too. Oh yeah. Sammy's on. I'll be back. Okay. Yeah, if you guys can, make sure to pick up Mr. Woody there. We do have a website. We got a lot of items on there. We got over 200 items. We got 55 colors of lures, 7 different sizes. We also sell fly tying material like chenille, thread, feathers, stuff like that. We even have our own crappie poles and catfish poles, fishing lines, circle hooks. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Where are you out of, Joshua? What state are you out of? I'm out of Northeast Oklahoma, by the way. I didn't know if I shared that earlier. Oh, Colorado, yeah. I got a friend of mine that makes baits up there. I think he's under Rocky Mountain Custom Jig, something like that. We've been friends for a few years. I'd have to say about 6 years, maybe. You're not too far from us, I guess. I'm on the eastern part of Oklahoma, so I'm on all the way on the other end. Yep. Thank you there, Burke. We had somebody from the Netherlands come in last night. These are 1/16 ounce heads. I'm going to do some 1/16 ounce round heads in a little bit. Then I got to do some 1/8 ounce pill heads. Then I got to make a bunch of underspin jig heads, both for the website, and then we may have somebody order a bunch of them, just the jig heads for the underspins. We move into Tennessee, put down some roots where. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are moving from Colorado, California. The company that I'm a pro staff with, which is Peak Fishing, they do the Peak Vices. They were in Colorado for so many years, and a couple years ago they moved down to Texas, mainly because they got locked down. They couldn't go to work for like a year and a half. They couldn't go to work because of the COVID lockdowns. Here in Oklahoma, we didn't have lockdowns. There was somewhat of a scare, but we didn't. There was no mandatory lockdowns where you had to take cover or whatever. I don't think I'm the youngest here anymore. No, I don't think so. Uh-oh. Oh, there you was. Work too hard. Time to, yeah, unionize. Need to unionize. Yeah. You were an essential worker. Were you a stripper? Were you a bartender? I can't believe some of the rules and stuff they put up in these different states. Yeah, here we had no lockdowns whatsoever. You did have some places did require you to wear a mask to go in, but there were some grocery stores that didn't require that. Coffee break time. Yeah. No, we didn't have any really big lockdowns. We did, however, we had my son, my daughter-in-law, my two sons, my daughter-in-law, my mother-in-law, my wife. My wife was on distant learning, and so she's a school teacher. So they did distant learning, and with the curriculum and the lessons that they put out there, she didn't have to be on a laptop the whole time. And so she came in and worked a little bit to uh, help train my kids basically, uh, because they'd never worked in the shop before. And we had one son pouring lead all day. He also did some painting. And then my other son, my older one, he tied jigs, and I taught him how to tie jigs, and he was tying across for me. My daughter-in-law, she would either paint heads at that section, or she'd be behind me, gluing eyes all day. And then we had some, a relative or one of them would be packing orders and putting labels on them. Oh yeah, that is good that we're getting young people. We get a lot of young people. On If you guys don't know, I have a TikTok channel, and I think we got over 110,000 followers over there. And we got a lot of young people. They watch me before they go to school. Some of them watch me while they're at school. um, yeah, there's places like that. We didn't have any restrictions on the fishing. I did get to go fishing, uh, but we didn't have any major restrictions. Some of these states were kind of silly. They basically put chains on their boat loading ramps where they couldn't unload their boats. And I thought that was kind of foolish. They want everybody to stay away 6 feet apart, but that you can't go out on a boat. I thought that was kind of wild. And I think that happened, I want to say in Indiana or Ohio. Um, that was going on, and but we didn't have any issues. I, I never took the jab or anything like that. You know, we had friends of ours that did. A lot of them that did take the vaccine, they ended up getting sick, or they ended up that way. I'll just leave it at that. And some of them were family members. At this one church, you had two parents and a son. The parents were, I want to say they're full on healthy. They were in like their late 60s or whatever, but the son was probably like 38 years old, and he ended up getting that, uh, you know, the shot, and within 2 weeks they were gone. But I didn't take it. I did get sick once, well, twice basically, and I felt sick, but I notified all my customers that, hey, we're not, for that week or whatever, we didn't ship out any lures. All I did was pour heads and paint heads and all that. But that's just some of the stuff that happens. Yeah, and that was wild too. No pay increases while a lot of people got to get paid and sit home. That kind, I want to say it's that 2 years, and I'm going to say 2 years. In some cases with us, it was probably maybe about a month of scare, but everybody, a lot of people went back to their normal life. Was I panicked and all that? I wasn't panicked. I knew it was coming. When those first cases started coming up in Washington, I uh, I bought as much chenille, as many hooks, as much thread, all the materials, feathers and everything. I thought, okay, you know, because I thought it was a scare, and I saw the media was starting to make it like a really big deal. And so, when I say media, I'm talking the news, and all the major channels were talking frantically about it. And we had a little bit of money in the bank, so I went ahead. I bought up as much stuff as I could because I thought, well, if we do get lockdowns, I'm going to have enough material to get me through. And the only material I ran out of was the silver chenille, and I didn't run out till 20 almost 2023. Yeah, we're American made. We all. I've been watching a lot of videos this morning on different platforms, and some of the people that are in the fishing industry, some of them make catfish rigs. If you see back there, those are or the those are the big floats. I use those for myself. We don't sell them, but they make catfish rigs. They get a lot of their stuff from certain countries, and with all the tariffs and stuff, they're realizing they're like, man, I'm gonna have to raise my prices, $4 to $7 a pack or whatever. And we haven't raised our prices. We're going to stick to the same price, right? As long as we can, because again, I do have enough hooks, chenille, thread, feathers, all that stuff to get me for the next year or so. Yeah, but you're young, Burke. You young people, have a lot of resilient blood cells that are still young. You get my blood cells and body dynamic. There's a lot of miles on this body, so. But no, I did get sick. Let's see, go fly fishing. Yeah, I need to go fly fishing. But no, I'm doing good. My favorite toy. I have a favorite toy, fishing rod. That's my favorite toy. No, but we did good, and I'm hoping to do good. I again with these tariffs and stuff. I've been watching a lot of people on TikTok and some on YouTube. They're telling their audiences and stuff that they're having hard times and they're gonna have to raise their prices. And us, on the other hand, we're like, months and months ago, we started buying as much as we could because I thought, oh no, there's going to be another. It's not going to be a health pandemic. It's going to be a financial crisis pandemic, and so um, we're setting okay. We're setting okay with powder coat, everything. If we run out of a certain color, we'll just take it off the website and add a new color on there. You know, but we're good. And again, some of these people that are on these different media platforms, um, I know them personally. We've talked on the phone, um, and so they are wanting to get people to be American made. We turned into from the 19, I'd say since the 1960s and 70s, we were manufacturers. Made in the USA has always been very big. It's always been a big deal. But uh, with younger generations of people, um, they don't want to get into the manufacturing. They don't want to work making socks. They don't want to make. They don't want to work in a factory making underwear, making curtains, making Tupperware or something like that. So, since and again, I was born in 1967, so um, I could speak about it a little bit. That I believe from the 1960s, we turned in from a manufacturing uh, country to a consumer, and we are a very rich nation. The U.S. is it's still rich. We have more millionaires per capita than any other country. We have more minority millionaires in our country than any other country, and so we're a very very rich nation. Even some of the poorest people here in the U.S. Are far by uh, wealthier than the majority of the people in the world. And again, we've turned in from a manufacturing country to a consuming country, and a lot of the stuff that we have, as a country, is made in a different country. And so, anyhow, I see why they're wanting to do what they want to do. You know, I'm all for it, and I do believe that the pandemic, I believe there's going to be, uh, I want to say ruined generation, but you know, this is manufacturing live. Yeah, that's what I do. You guys get to watch me work and make fishing lures all day. You know, I'm not doing anything different. I'm not really doing stuff for show. The stuff that I do when I make lures, this is what I make. Made in the USA there. You know, some people don't care about that. you know, they don't want to pay the price for that, but it does cost. I do value my time, and I, I I don't gauge my work by how much I earn an hour, or really by a day. I just have really good pride, and I believe what I do is a crafts. It is craftsmanship. It is an art. I think it's a lost art here in the U.S. There's not there's there's right now there's a lot of people making hand ties, but there's not a lot of really good people making hand ties. People that are talented. You got a lot of people that they want to become TikTok stars or YouTube stars, and they get on the Vice, and you see the way they're making lures. They're not that good at it. And not to be too critical, but it's like, man, maybe you ought to be a fisherman. You just not you just don't look like what you're doing you don't look really good at what you're doing. Sixth highest. Oh yeah. No, it doesn't. And what I found out in the last 5 to 10 years is I will put out a limited edition color, and I'm just throwing this up for hypothetical reasons. Um, they'll buy one of my packs of lures for 5, 6, 7 bucks, and because I don't make that lure anymore, they'll take that pack of lures. And if you guys don't know, I'm talking about the Starburst lure that I made 8 years ago. It was one of the first jigs I made with eyes. Uh, they take that pack, and they could sell that pack for like $50 to $70 now, and I'm not even dead. They're getting that kind of money for it. I wish I made that kind of money for it. Oh, from Norway, yeah, yeah. I mean, our hooks are mustad hooks. We use mustads. It's a good country. It's a good company. Oh, it's a good country, first of all, but it's a good company, and they are really stout hooks. I love my mustads. Yeah, I've had people I've had a hook company try to break me away, and they want me to go back to their company. And and the thing was, I used their hooks, and I'm talking about Eagle Claw. I used Eagle Claw hooks for 6, 7 years, and then there were some hooks that were really faulty, and then the hook eyelets weren't closed, and it did cost me a little bit of business, and so I went over to Mustads, and I've never had issues with Mustads. I've never talked to the company Mustad, But I've had some people from Eagle Claw reach out to me. They want me to go back to them. But yeah, mustads are good hooks. And Gamakatsu hooks are good too. I had someone reach out. I don't know if they were, but I had somebody reach out with Gamakatsu and all that. And I, I'm the type of person, if I'm using a product and it works, I'm going to keep using that same product. And until somebody does me wrong or whatever, if that product works for me, it's working great. Why switch up, you know? Yeah, yeah. The Eagle Claws. I was having issues with. And let me see if I have an Eagle Claw hook here. Yeah, I still have some Eagle Claw hooks, and I don't use them. Okay, that one. Yeah, here's one. I think I found one here. And I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. Let me see if I can. This here is a number. What is it? Number 8. Yeah. Well, that one's not so bad. On the eyelets, right? Yeah. On the Eagle Claw hook, the eyelet there, it on some of them they don't close up all the way. And what we were running into years ago were, uh-oh, where did that go? One of the things we were running into years ago was um, people were starting to use braid. And when they went to braid, because of that little bitty gap in the eyelet, some of these people were losing their jigs. They'd go to set the hook and there'd be nothing on there and their jig would fall off. And so I wasn't the only one experiencing that. There were some other people experiencing it, you know, that made lures. And so that's when we went away. I had talked to my wholesaler, and the wholesaler knew there was an issue there. And so we ended up switching everything over to mustads. Owner, oh yeah, I don't even know the Owner brand. I've never had anybody from Owner reach out to me, or I mean, there's a lot of hook companies out there. Well, thank you there. I appreciate that. Yeah, and they're good. I mean, for the most part, they're good hooks. And you know what? That was the brand of hook that I used when I first started the business. And I will give them credit. Um, I'm not going to dog on them, and it's just my experience with them. Some people, some people are very relentless when it comes to some of these companies that they used to use or be with, and I'm not. I'm not going to make a video and talk about how Eagle Claw hooks are bad, and you know. But no, that was my experience, and they still make good hooks. You know, uh, I just fell in love with the Mustad hooks. They work really good for me. Yeah, you could close it with pliers, but I don't want to sit there and have something else to worry about, and then have to, you know, close every single hook. And there was a case where it was like I'm looking at a box of, you know, they come in a box of 1,000, and it's like I'm looking at a box of like 600 hooks left, and I'm like, every hook, I'm not going to sit there and close the eyelet, because if you squeeze too hard, you end up, you know, breaking the eyelet too. Yeah, and that's something that they could do too. But again, for me, I want to put a bait out there that's ready to use, and that's one reason that, you know, that if you look at my pack compared to other packs, those eyelets there, they're ready to use. You don't have to sit there and gouge the eyelet out just to open it up. You know, those are things that I do, and I want to make fishing not just fun. I want to make it easy too. I've been fishing uh, out there, and when it's like 35, 40 degrees and it's cold and chilly, and then to sit there and have to try to get that eyelet, to open up because it's all clogged up with paint. I've had to do that, and because I care about the fishermen, and the conditions they fish with, I doubt that they're bringing, you know, most experienced fishermen uh, that go out will keep something like this in their on their lanyard, but the everyday person isn't. The person that goes fishing maybe, you know, once a month or twice a month, they're not going to carry something like that with them. So I try to make fishing not just fun, but I try to make it easy on them too. But guys, I'm going to take a little break. I've been on here for almost an hour. The break that I'm taking, it's not going to be a super long break, but hey, Johnny King. But I'll be back here. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to tap a like real fast, and also subscribe to our channel. Now, we will be doing a giveaway tomorrow somewhere. I say about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll be doing a giveaway. It'll be somewhere between 3 and 5 o'clock. Okay, and we'll be doing a giveaway. And for all the people that are throwing out, whatever gifts, we will, every $5 increment will go towards the drawing. Also, if you're a member, you automatically get you get your name in the drawing if you're also a paid if you have a paid membership. So we'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. You guys have a good morning, and as always, God bless.